So this is from a video called "The Day That Changed NASCAR Forever." And it's supposedly 1987. The big wreck of Bobby Allison, who's not in the car. There was no possibility of anyone dying or anyone getting hurt. So this is actually the second video on this incident. And this is the car right here, number 22. And we'll listen in as the narrator tries to narrate us with some lies.
Thought he had perished right there. There was no doubt about it.
I knew I needed to hang on.
Okay, now, it's not hitting the retaining wall. It will scrape it. Then they will set off some charges to drop the wall.
I knew that I had to weather this storm.
See, the wall's intact. The wall is intact.
What happened, the crash ruptured my dry sump oil tank, and I had oil in my eyes, and it blew all in my face and got inside my goggles and all over me.
Look at him smiling. He's got to make something up because he wasn't in the car.
In my eyes and everything, and so I couldn't see.
Okay, now all these pieces go out in this direction. Now what's going to happen is they're going to set charges off on these poles right here. Boom, 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 boom. After the car passes. Then this wall will drop forward. Nobody was in any danger whatsoever. The charges were just slight enough to let it drop. And there's no danger. This audience here is not the slightest bit frightened of anything. Okay? You don't see any of the wall coming down. But it will, because they'll set these off. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. After the car passes.
There goes.
See, it's starting to fall over here.
Bobby's car goes airborne. The crankshaft had broken off.
Now see, notice how they won't show you the rest of that footage because they exploded charges to drop that wall. Now they go back to the lies and the liars. There's nobody in the car.
And it was headed right for my car, and it hit the roof and knocked a big hole in the roof and broke out my windshield.
In the broadcast booth, Bob and Larry immediately know this is serious, serious trouble.
See, look. The car didn't do that. Some charges were set off. Boom, boom, boom. Now, do these people look the slightest bit afraid? No, because the wall held. If that wall had done what they said it did, and those pieces would be flying into these people, and these people would be in total panic.
Not only for Bobby was Harold Kinder injured up in the flag stand.
I went right under that flag stand, and he never missed a beat waving that flag, you know what I mean?
He has torn out a whole large area.
See, now that was done later. You saw it. There was nothing that happened to it. It was done with it little tiny charges. Tiny bit of explosive charges. That's all. So subtle that you wouldn't even notice it.
Area of guardrail, there it is, protecting the crowd from the racetrack, and he came very, very close to going into the stands.
No, he didn't. Look. A smirk.
The ambulance started the wrong way around the racetrack to go to the infield hospital, the infirmary in the infield.
Does he look like he's in a state of shock? Or does he look like he's acting? Somebody came through a crash like he came through, they'd be in a state of shock.
And so I said, well, you know, they're driving me this way so I don't see all those dead people laying out there.
He's referring to the crowd and the dropping down of that protective shield. He thinks there's dead bodies everywhere. He knows better. Look. It's a smile.
And the track from, because I knew that I'd gone into that fencing.
We're concerned about some spectators.
Now this is all later, of course. They got to ham it up. Because there was nobody in the car, so there was no danger of a driver dying. And there was no danger of spectators getting hurt, because it was just a mild controlled demolition.
May have been hit by flying debris. The track security and the Talladega Sheriff's Department is on the scene, trying to keep the crowd under control.
So how does the Sheriff's Department get on the scene so quickly? Oh, you mean they're at the races and they just happen to be there? Right.
Limited reports that there were people injured, but it appeared that no one was critically injured. We came back.
Isn't that something? Nobody's critically injured because nothing happened.
Back around, and you saw the fence tore down and everything, and it's hard to believe a race car could do that to the fence.
That's right, it's hard to believe because it wasn't. There were minor charges put in the poles, and they were blown out very quickly after the car passed by. It was all a controlled demolition and a controlled crash with propaganda narration.
And we were just so lucky it didn't get in the grandstands.
Had Bobby Allison gotten up into the grandstands, we wouldn't be doing this interview today.
During one of the commercial breaks, Larry Newber turned to me and he said, that was almost the end of racing as we know it.
Smirk. Was the beginning of getting more spectators because they love the thrill of crashes. They love the thrill that possibly somebody might get hurt or die. Which isn't true, by the way, because nobody's in the cars.
Here in America.
If it would.
See, there it goes. It's just a controlled show.
Been the deal with.
Now this piece does not fly into the audience. If that would have had a hole there, this piece would fly into the audience. They're not shook. Look. All this goes out this way. Now the controlled demo's getting started. Boom, 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 boom.
Killed it. It could have been.
You could actually see the poles starting to come down when the car in question is down here.
Time to, get the movement started to close the racetrack and to close NASCAR.
Davey Allison saw the accident from his rear view mirror, and he was just mortified. He was terrified
Another false testimony.
that something bad had happened to his father.
We tried to hurry up and get back around as quick as we could and make sure everybody was okay, and I'll tell you, I breathed a sigh of relief and thanked the good Lord when I saw my dad get out of that car.
Yeah, after they did some trickery to make it look like he got out of a car that he was not in the first place.
Another storybook finish, the race was restarted and Davey Allison won his first career race.
There it is! Davey Allison wins! The sweetest victory.
Yay!
First-time winner.
Okay, so that's how it's done. There's nobody in the cars. The crashes are controlled crashes. They can do controlled demolition, and they propagandize people. They tell you what you see. And then they have cuts to different things that were filmed in advance, or props or sets that were designed to give you the idea in your mind that you witnessed a driver driving a car who just walked away out of a dangerous situation, and it's miraculous that they're alive and unharmed, because it's all BS. Now let me qualify this a little bit, because it's mostly the big races that are done like this. Now, the racetrack in your hometown, sure, there's drivers driving them cars. I'm only talking about the big major races that are watched by many, many people. I'd like to thank you for watching this video.